Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel. So I want to say thank you so much to everybody who left a comment on my last video. I read pretty much all of them. There were hundreds of comments. Probably by the time I'm recording this video, there might be like over 200. I have not checked it today, but I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who tuned in, everyone who left a comment, and all the new subscribers that I got from that video. I appreciate you all so much. And in fact, notification squad, where you at? I see y'all. I be seeing y'all. In today's video, I want to have a conversation with you all, and I just want to come from a place of like curiosity, no judgment. I genuinely have some thoughts about this, but I also want to know your opinions. So I recently got a message in my DMs responding to an Instagram story that I did where someone was commenting on my texture, saying something along the lines of, I love your natural hair. I can't wait for my texture to change so it can be like yours. I looked at the page. This is not a child. This is not someone that I would even say is like in her younger 20s, like 21, 22. To say that she would be a little bit unsure, I would say, personally, I feel like most women understand the concept of texture changing and whatnot, but I was very kind of like taken aback by it. I also loved the fact that she was looking forward to her texture being like mine, because not for nothing, but my texture is not the type of texture that people really want to have. I fall in the 4B, 4C range. I don't have coils, tight coils, but my hair is obviously tightly textured, and I refer to my hair as kinky, curly, coily. You know, that's the name of my business. So that was pretty exciting. But the idea of texture changing and her looking forward to that, for whatever reason, kind of took me aback. Now, what I know about texture changing is that it happens at different times in our life, but it's not something that you can like big chop today and look forward to in a couple of days or years for the most part. Let me just start by saying my daughter Elle's in the background, being slightly intrusive. Say hi and leave, please.
No.
I'm filming my video. Then you gotta sit down, baby. We all know that when we first come out of the womb, our hair texture is probably the softest and silkiest. And it smells the best that it will ever smell for the rest of our lives. It is the softest it ever will be. I don't care what kind of lotion, what kind of butter you got. Your hair from that amniotic fluid is the best, okay? But then, you know, shortly after that, most children, your texture will change. For some kids, it happens almost immediately where that soft, smooth, straight texture starts to get curly and kinky within the first 6 months. Some children, it does take a little bit longer, but for the most part, within the first year, you pretty much are sure of what your child's texture will be. Now, throughout the course of your childhood, your texture can change again, possibly due to like hormones, and when you go through puberty and things like that, you may notice your texture changes, and some people, even their hair color might change. I would say, without having any scientific data, after that, if you are doing any type of chemical treatment like a Brazilian keratin treatment, if you've been using professional chemical relaxers, if you've been using professional color treatments, curly perms, if you've done something to like alter the texture or the color of your hair, then yes, of course, there will also possibly be an effect to the texture of your hair. Now, outside of that, and puberty and birth, then I would say when you start graying, you know, your hair texture will change again, because your gray hair tends to be a lot more wiry and more coarse, and for some people it can be even softer than it was before, but that's not the norm. Outside of that, unless you're going from straight to natural, where, you know, obviously your texture is going to change, or going from natural to straight by using a chemical treatment, I don't know when else our texture would change. Correct me if I'm wrong, unless you like going through something traumatic, like let's say if you were going through some type of chemo treatment and your hair fell out, people have reported that their hair texture grew in a little bit different or a lot different. I just can't think of many other times in your life where your hair texture would change, and especially if you went natural, why would your texture change? I don't know. Let me know if you have any input in this, because it's not something that I'm familiar with. I probably will need to interview some stylists, especially if you are a licensed cosmetologist or esthetician or trichologist, dermatologist, and you've worked with hair texture, you work with hair, the scalp. I would love to hear from you guys. I just don't want people going around misinformed because someone told them that after they go natural, their hair texture is gonna change. Yes, I remember when I first went natural almost 9 years ago, that a lot of people talked about this thing called scab hair, where the hair that you first big chop isn't exactly like what you have as your hair grows in, but it wasn't like months, years later, now all of a sudden your texture went from like a, I don't know, 4C to a 4B, or a 4B to a 4A, or a 4A to a 3C. Like I've not heard of any situation where that has happened. I would love to know if you all have heard people say this before, that they're waiting for their texture to change. I mean, clearly this woman, if she was saying this to me, this is something that she's heard and is obviously expecting. And from someone who probably she respects and admires, must have told her this or said this somehow, because she's waiting for her texture to look like mine. And I've never heard this before from anyone, really. It was so interesting. I literally was like, I gotta go talk to my girls on YouTube, because this is so new to me. I never heard this before. Should I be waiting for my texture to change? No. Now I'm just being shady, I know. But I honestly just really want to know, has anyone experienced a texture change? Like a legitimate texture change where you could be like, this was me and now this is me. Like one of those type of things. Not like it used to be rough and now it's soft. Like, not that, you know? Because if you use some kinky curly knot today or some Shea Moisture, you know, then yeah, your texture's gonna be feeling really, really soft. You know what I'm saying? You get a product with humectants in there, you know, some glycerin, your texture's gonna be feeling really, really good. But that's not what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So please let me know if you've ever heard this before, if this has ever happened to you. What are your thoughts on what this woman is thinking? Do you possibly know where she's coming from? Maybe I don't, and I'm just like in my own little bubble of like 4B, 4C, and I'm like, what you talking about? Let me know. Please, 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 if you have not already, subscribe to this channel. Join me, join my notification squad. Turn your notification on so you know when I get a video by clicking the little bell icon. And please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye.